Hey guys, alright, so I wanted to create these videos because I struggled through trying to make some sense of what it means to create our own language. But I got through some different things on, what expression, well, how expressions are used in C Sharp and those kind of things. And I've used Lisp in the past for other things, way back when, and I was just trying to figure out just kind of what the current world of things are. You get online and you start reading about parsing and lexing and kind of how to create your own language type thing, and started to hop into expression trees and stuff like that inside of C Sharp, and you begin to just I don't know, things just seemed to click for me. But it primarily brought me back to Lisp, and I thought this would be very helpful for people building different, like either scripting engines for, all sorts of things, games or other applications where you wanted to be able to dynamically execute code, but in a way that was very controlled and limited to the scope that you wanted it to be, or very wide open. But you also have to realize that the more wide open you make something, the more security things you have to pay attention to. But anyway, I'm going to worry about all of that security stuff. But I wanted to go through and talk about some things, because I believe that these things are very, very powerful. Um, Let me go ahead and I have a list of items that I wanted to cover in this video series. So number one, C Sharp scripting. What do I mean by that? I mean, I want my program to take in, for now, we're just reading a console input, but I mean, ideally later on we could add script files, read those script files, browse to them, whatever, but we wouldn't have to compile our program anymore. Wouldn't have to come in, compile, whatever. We would just have the things we need inside of our program to handle our scripting. And that is very powerful, because then we can do all of our custom stuff out in scripting land. We don't have to pause the execution of our currently running program. We just know that, hey, we got script to run. Let's run it. Let's do our thing, and let's move on. So that's really what the power of scripting is. I know there's been articles and things about people running the DOM compiler, or whatever the compiler is inside of the code DOM, to recompile, add a DLL, load that or whatever, load an assembly into from memory or whatever, and that just doesn't seem right from a scripting standpoint. It seems like you actually got to get in there and you got to build some things, and there's some security nuances with that even. So anyway, babbling a little bit. The thing I wanted to skip for the most part was trying to do what I saw was hard, of saying, okay, what exactly is a parser, and what exactly is a lexer, and what exactly is an expression tree, and what is it, I'm not going to skip those, but I want to point you to showing you those things in working order. Like, here's how we parse, here's how we lex or tokenize, right? And then here's how we implement. And I wanted to cover at least some very basics of the Lisp language, because I believe that the Lisp language is very well structured. It's very well structured to be able to parse, very well structured to be able to tokenize or run a lex operation on to find the function names. Very, very well structured, because very, very consistent. The things that are annoying, of course, when you're typing it, is all these parentheses, but you get past that, the language is actually very well structured. So it's worth going through. I believe you'll find some benefit in going through this with me on that. Let's do cover expression trees, because these do form expression trees, and they do it naturally just by the structure of the language. And then let's create our main script loop here. Actually, it's created. We'll walk through that. I'll trash all this, and we'll just walk through that real quick. That one's easy. The user vars dictionary. Create a dictionary to store user variables that are scripted in. Got a typo. Pretend that we scripted these. So we're going to start off very beginning. You know, hey, instead of saying set q or whatever to set a variable inside of script, we're just going to hard code them, and we're going to just try to start parsing and lexing and evaluating just with some basic functions. And then we're going to cover how to detect different data types. So not just integers, but integers and doubles or decimals, right? And strings and other things later on in the series. This is just the intro series, the sub-series, I guess, just to get us what are we doing and how do we get there very quick as possible. And then, you know, now you'll have an idea of, hey, I'm able to run script and it's evaluating functionality, and I'm able to do all these things. But in the meantime, we are in real time. We're building what it means to parse something. We're building what it means to detect or tokenize different data types and different, I don't know, we'll do different things based on function names. You know, it's easy with mathematical functions, but there's going to be times where maybe we even need to define a function. So we'll even walk through some of that code, which is really cool. So anyway, that's the intro to this little sub-series of C# scripting with Lisp. And that's primarily, we're going to use Lisp, or at least the Lisp structure, and we will cover most of these points in the upcoming videos. So stay tuned. Catch us on the next one. Subscribe so you know when the next videos are coming out, and we'll get to it. All right, thanks guys.